Hello, hello, hello. I'm Josetta Yvonne, your book babe, coming on for a quick book haul today. I hope this video finds you well. So this is my first book haul of 2026. These books are mostly thrifted. There are a few new ones in the bunch, but they were mostly gotten from thrift stores, eBay. I don't believe any came from Pango. Maybe a used one from Amazon. So let's just get right into it. So first off, Brown Girl, Brown Stones. Paul Marshall, a book just came out about her recently, this author. I'm not sure if it's an autobiography or a biography, but I have seen it kind of floating around. But this book had been recommended, I think, previously by, I can't remember if it was Chocolate Colored Pages or maybe Lex Reads. So let me give you a little bit of the synopsis. It says it's an unforgettable novel. Set in Brooklyn during the Depression and World War II, Brown Girl Brownstones is the fiercely told story of Barbadian immigrants striving to surmount poverty and racism and make their new country home. Selena Boyce, the novel's sturdy heroine, is caught between respect for her hardworking, ambitious mother, who longs for a brownstone row house, and deep love for her easygoing and romantic father. Readers share with Selena as she grows into a young womanhood and her own identity, sexuality, her own sense of values, and an important chapter in the pursuit of the American dream. So excited to read that. The next one here, Angel of Greenwood. I don't remember how I came upon this one, but I think this is a YA, and it is in regards to Tulsa. I believe it's a historical fiction. And actually, this was bought from a library that was being during their sale. So let me give you a brief part of the synopsis. 17-year-old Isaiah Wilson is on the surface a town troublemaker, but he hides the fact that he is an avid reader and poet who never leaves home without his journal. A passionate follower of W.E.B. Du Bois, he believes that Black people should rise up to claim their place as equals. 16-year-old Angel Hill is a loner, mostly disregarded by her peers as a goody-goody, but beloved by the adults in her community for her sweet and generous heart. Though they've attended the same schools, Isaiah never noticed Angel as anything but a quiet, Bible-toting church girl. Then he sees her perform a dance at a church service and finally connects her with brave, free-spirited beauty. When their English teacher offers him a job on her mobile library, a three-wheel, two-seater bike, Isaiah is eager to be in such close quarters with Angel every afternoon. So this is a story about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So this is probably a historical fiction, as I said before. Lies He Told Me. I was actually looking for another book when I came upon this book by James Patterson, and it sounded really good. It was from the public library. So let me give you a brief part of the synopsis. Everyone in Hemingway Grove, Illinois knows David and Marcy Bowers. David owns the local pub. Marcy is a former big city attorney who practices family law. When David saves a stranger from drowning, he's celebrated as a hero. Photos of his muscled physique, shaved head, and piercing blue eyes are broadcast over every news channel. For most people, newfound fame is a lifeline. For David Bowers, it's a death sentence. For Marcy Bowers, it's a test. A wife knows the difference between a loving husband and father and a cold-blooded assassin, right? So that intrigued me. And this is by James Patterson. he has a plethora of books. I think he's known a lot for the Alex Cross series. The movie Along Came a Spider was adapted off of his book. And I know Tyler Perry played, I think, Alex Cross in the movie, but there's also the Cross series. I believe that's on Amazon Prime. Because some people at work talk about it all the time, but I've never watched the series, but I've heard it's really, really, really good. Then we have here First Lie Wins. This is a Reese book club pick, but Shonda Rhimes also recommended this book. She said it was really great, and she was one of her top reads for last year, I believe. So a brief synopsis. Let me read this part here. It says, the identity comes first. Evie Porter, once she is given a name and location by her mysterious boss, Mr. Smith, she learns everything there is to know about the town and the people in it. Then the mark, Ryan Sumner, the last piece of the puzzle is the job. Evie isn't privy to Mr. Smith's real identity, but she knows this job isn't like the others. Ryan has gotten under her skin, and she's starting to envision a different sort of life for herself. But Evie can't make any mistakes, especially after what happened last time. Evie must stay one step ahead of her past while making sure there's still a future in front of her. The stakes couldn't be higher, but then Evie has always liked a challenge. That synopsis didn't really tell me very much. It says Evie Porter has everything a nice Southern girl could want. A doting boyfriend, a house with a white picket fence, a tight group of friends, and the only catch, Evie Porter doesn't exist. So yeah, Shonda Rhimes recommended this book, so I picked it up. Growing Up X, a memoir by the daughter of Malcolm X. I think we know all about them. His daughter has written a compelling and lyrical coming-of-age story, as well as a candid and heartwarming tribute to her parents. Growing Up X is destined to become a classic, that's Spike Lee's quote. February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X is assassinated in Harlem's ballroom. June 23rd, 1997, after surviving for a remarkable 22 days, his widow, Betty Shabazz, dies of burns suffered in a fire. In the years between, their 6 daughters reach adulthood, forged by the memory of their parents, love, the meaning of their cause, and the power of their faith. Now, at long last, one of them has recorded that tumultuous journey in an unforgettable memoir, Growing Up X. He has a beautiful daughter. I don't think I've ever really seen her. Very pretty. The next book, Until I'm Yours. I've heard so many great things about this book by Kennedy Ryan. I've never read any of her books, so this would be my first Kennedy Ryan book. But people went crazy over her last series. I think Before I Let Go was like one of the first books in that trilogy. And I can't remember the other 2, but I remember people really went wild over the series. So I picked this one up. The world knows her face, but only one man knows her heart. Goddess, Ice Queen, Mean Girl. None of these labels scratch the surface of who supermodel Sophie Baston really is. Before she can follow her own dreams, Sophie must do her daughterly duty and reel in a fish for her father's business. A tall, brown-eyed entrepreneur who immediately hooks her. He's a big guy with an even bigger heart, but will that heart be open to Sophie once her darkest secret is revealed? To Trevor Bishop, Sophie is a beautiful mystery he would gladly spend his life solving. He figures her tough demeanor is armor against a world that's hurt her too many times. Then Sophie's deepest wounds are reopened by the powerful, ruthless man who made them. When she musters the courage to take him down, her world shatters. That sounds very juicy. This next book, Vanessa Jarrett's Got a Man by LaQuette. This book was recommended by Lex Reads. This author recently had a book come out, and I didn't realize that the one that came out this year is actually part 2. There's a part 1 to that. So I decided to pick this up first to see how well I like it. And if I do, I will later on pick up part 2 in the series. So they call this a sexy, funny, romantic drama about a woman getting her groove back and a second chance at love. Vanessa has decided to pull herself out of her post-40, post-divorce slump by forming the Savvy, Sexy, and Single Club with her 2 best friends and starting the Do Me portion of their lives. But on the 2-year anniversary of the club, a very sexy sheriff shows up on Vanessa's doorstep wanting her help to keep his little sister from marrying Vanessa's no-good ex. Vanessa wants nothing to do with the man until she spots a photo of her ex's new fiancé wearing her grandmother's ring, which he'd clearly stolen from her. Now Vanessa is ready to take this trifling blank down. What she does not expect is to fall in love along the way. Sounds pretty juicy. These next ones are going to be like some spring summer reads that I picked up that I've heard great things about. The first one, Perfect Timing by Brenda Jackson. It says here, Maxine Chandler and Maya Rivers were once the best friends. Wait, let me start over again. Maxine Chandler and Maya Rivers were once the best of friends, sisters by choice. Now a 10-year class reunion cruise to the Caribbean could renew their powerful bond just when they need it most. After heartbreaking tragedy, Maxie doesn't expect her shipboard romance with a former high school rebel to be more than a sizzling distraction. But then he offers her a gift so profound she can't refuse, even when it could mean a crushing loss. Because I love the front of it. Looks like they have pina coladas on the beach, chilling. So I thought this would be a great springtime, summer read. The next one, Out of Office. I saw where Lex Reed had read this, I think sometime last year. And so when I saw it for like $4, I was like, why not? Let's see what it's talking about. So it says it's a sensual vacation romance exploring what happens when you step out of the office, take a chance on yourself, and discover your deepest desires. Genevieve Raymond was born an overachiever. After opening a hot new hotel in Panama, she's on track for a major promotion. But first, she needs a break, even if her overbearing mother doesn't approve. For 2 glorious weeks, Jen's giving herself permission to explore the beaches of Colin, I'm assuming Colin, and the attraction she shares with her sexy as hell driver, Adrian Nicholas. Sounds good. Then we have Blackhampton. We have Blackhampton 1 and part 2. Kayla's Bookish Vibes is actually the person that recommended this book. So I can't wait to get into this summer. She said there's also a TV series that is out in regards to this. So let me leave you, let's see. Let me read you part of the synopsis here. Oh, there's something on the back. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Blackhamptons by Carl Weber. He was a really big to-do when we were younger. And I think he has a book coming out I think I saw a book he's writing to come out this year in May sometimes as well. So, hidden away near the end of Long Island, New York, is a community where affluent African Americans have vacationed for more than 75 years. Here, Black folks own 5 miles of prime beachfront with a mix of legacy, families, new money, hangers on, and thirsty developers. Drama can never be far behind a place called the Black Hamptons. The Britons are the owners of Amistad Bank, the nation's largest minority-owned bank. They consider themselves the first family of the Black Hamptons and have owned their estate home for 3 generations. Their matriarch, Carolyn Britton, and her 2 sons, Malcolm and Martin, are not to be played with. They truly embody the Black Hamptons' old guard and will do whatever they feel necessary to maintain their place at the top. Sounds like it's going to be a good time in the summer. Part 2, Black Hamptons, but it says gentrification. So let's see if they give us a little something here. Yeah. It says things are heating up in the Black Hamptons, an affluent community of African Americans nestled along the shore of Long Island, New York. The setting may be idyllic, but behind closed doors, the drama between family members and neighbors is intense. Moses Britton, the patriarch of a wealthy banking family, has just returned home after an extended stay in Venezuela, where he was hiding to avoid federal charges. Okay, that's all we're going to read there. So we don't want to give away anything from part 1 since I haven't read part 1. But part 2 sounds like it's going to be really, really good. Okay, the next one here, The Conjuring of America, Mojos, Mermaids, Medicine, and 400 Years of Black Women's Magic. I just wanted this book when it came out, and it kept being out of stock on Amazon and some of the other stores I checked. And finally, it came back into stock, and I picked it up. It was actually off of eBay where I purchased this one. But I'm excited to read it because the synopsis sounded really good, and it sounds like something I'm going to want to have on my shelf long term. So it says here, a crucial telling of U.S. history centering the Black women whose magic gave rise to the rich tapestry of American culture we see today. From Vic's Paper Rub and Aunt Jemima's Pancake Mix to the magic of Disney's The Little Mermaid 2023 and the All-American Blue Jean. Emerging first on plantations in the American South, enslaved conjure women used their magic to treat illnesses. These women combined their ancestral spiritual beliefs from West Africa with local herbal rituals and therapeutic remedies to create conjure, forging a secret well of health and power hidden to their oppressors, and many of the modern day staples we still enjoy. So yeah, I wanted to learn more about what that entails because I mean, Aunt Jemima, we all know as far as that one goes, but Vapor Rub, I never heard anything about Vapor Rub. So I wanted to see how it all came together because it sounds like it's going to be a great amount of history and learning. And I'm always up for a good educational experience. Sorrowland by River Solomon. This book was recommended by, I can't remember her name. She has purple hair and she focuses on fantasy books normally, but she recommended this book and she said it was like the best book she had read, I think, for last year. And so she really praised this story. And I remember Kayla with Bookish Vibes had read a book from this same author. I think it was called The River Deep. And she talked about how great it was, but the thing that I remember the most is that it had her at a loss for words, like almost as if it was indescribable or something. But yeah, So when this was recommended, I decided to pick this up because I want something to read that's a little different. And I'm not a big fantasy reader, but I do want to explore that genre more since that's not something I normally pick up. So here we go. It says, Sorrowland contains so much wisdom and insight. Wrapped in passion and fury and tenderness, there is so much going on in this book. The specter of rebellion co-opted our long-standing practice of using black bodies for cruel experiments. The audacity of queer love. The book takes Vern and her babies away from civilization and then back to it. But they return changed, and they change everyone else. Sorrowland restored my faith in our potential to transform just when I needed it most. Sounds kind of like this sci-fi show I watched with Holly Berry in it. I can't think of the name of it, but yeah. Vern, 7 months pregnant and desperate to escape the strict religious compound where she was raised, flees for the shelter of the woods. There she gives birth to twins and plans to raise them far from the influence of the outside world. But even in the forest, Vern is a hunted woman. Forced to fight back against the community that refuses to let her go, she unleashes incredible brutality far beyond what a person should be capable of. Her body racked by inexplicable and uncanny changes. To understand her metamorphosis and to protect her small family, Vern has to face the past and, more troublingly, the future outside the woods. And last but not least, this one was on sale for 10 bucks. I got this book. Everybody went crazy over Alice Finney's, the movie adapted on Netflix, His and Hers. So I had to pick up My Husband's Wife. I've heard so many amazing things about this book. Chocolate covered pages made me want to pick this book up. I already had it on my TBR of books to read, but when I saw it for 10 bucks, I said, okay, I'll go ahead and get it and prepare to read it soon. But when she said it was good, it was good. She raved about it on her channel, and I can't wait to get into it because I know the His and Her adaptation on Netflix was really, really good. So I can only imagine this. And she said it was off the chain. So on the back, Frida McFadden says that My Husband's Wife was nonstop thrills from the first page and kept me guessing until the end. The best Finney book yet. Chris Whitaker says, clever, twisting, and devilish dark. I love My Husband's Wife. The pace is breathless, and the ending is jaw-dropping. Harlan Coben says, Alice Finney is one of my favorite thriller writers. Okay. Eden Fox, an artist on the brink of her big break, sets off for a run before her first exhibition. When she returns to the home she recently moved to, Spyglass, an enchanting old house in Hope Falls, nothing is as it should be. Her key doesn't fit. A woman eerily similar to her answers the door, and her husband insists the stranger is his wife. 6 months earlier, a reclusive Londoner called Bertie, reeling from a life-changing diagnosis, inherits Spyglass. This unexpected gift from a long-lost grandmother brings her to the pretty seaside village of Hope Falls. But then Bertie stumbles upon a shadowy clinic that claims to be able to predict a person's date of death. including her own. Secrets start to unravel, and as the line between truth and lie blurs, Birdie feels compelled to right some old wrongs. So, yes, I'm excited to get into this one too. So that completes my first 2026 book haul. I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope we discuss some books that you may want to get into yourself this spring or summer. That's it, folks. Wishing you nothing but inner peace, positivity, and empowerment. Enjoy reading. Happy reading. Take care. Bye-bye.